Welcome to Circle of Hearts Radio. Journey with Grandmother Alaya as she enters her magical world of relics, sacred sites, and ancient crystal skulls. Meet with exciting trailblazer authors and individuals shifting the consciousness of humanity. Send her your questions to be answered on air on her monthly segment, Ask the Oracle. And now your host, Grandmother Alaya, in the sanctuary on the airwaves on OMTimes Radio.
Thank you for joining me today, and many blessings to you all. For all of you, I know whoever's listening is going through a lot of intensities, and the world is upsetting, but we're here to help in ways that we can. Today we have an earlier version of the Heart to Soul talks with Charlie, the riverman-Bergeron. One of these days, Charlie, I'm going to get your last name right.
You did beautiful.
And as we always tell you, we don't plan these. A few weeks before, we say, oh, so we talk about, we'll come up with, maybe a few words, and then we just leave it. And I'll talk to him maybe a few minutes before the show, and we decide, all right, let's scrap everything we planned, and we're going to do something different. That, it just seems it's something that's needed to be said. And pretty much Charlie's going to be forefront today because he has a way of putting words together that is absolutely amazing. And then the last segment, I'm going to ask you to sit quietly, and we're going to do a group send, a prayerful send to a part of the world that needs some, prayers too. There's many parts of the world that, the whole world needs prayers, but sometimes we need just to focus and direct one thing at a time. So today I'm going to ask you to join with Charlie and I as we send a group prayer to a special area and to the children of that area. So right now, before I hand you off to Charlie, I want to thank you for listening and to, keep hanging on with us as, we walk this path with you. And Charlie's got some very insightful words, that I think you'll find very helpful today. So Charlie, I'm handing it off to you.
Well, thank you, Alaya. It's a pleasure to be back here. And we're going to continue our regular schedule for the rest of the year. As many can see, the chaos has hit even the radio show airwaves. So the chaos is all around us, and we're not going to escape it anytime soon. So my messages are really about how do we support ourselves and each other in the midst of all of this change and transition and transmutation. We had started the year off with the word choices, and we've had a couple of discussions on choices and how we always have choices to make. Some of them are not pleasant. Some of them are quite insightful and change our lives dramatically. And it's about standing in our power. And our power is the ability to make the choice unencumbered by fear. And that was our second word in our trilogy of words that we chose, was fear. And everybody now is feeling fear on so many levels that it's hard to avoid. And yet there is only fear and love. And so what is being presented by the fearful energy is really an opportunity to look within ourselves and to see where did that originate, and what is it tied to, and how is it linked to past patterns in our life, and how have we played out those patterns, and see where the fear directed our choices. So you see, it all ties together. And even briefly in our 10 minutes or so of speaking before the show, all of this came out and wrapped itself up. And so it became clear to Alaya that perhaps I should just ramble on
No,
with
it's not
my
ramble. It's not ramble.
with my messaging, which I enjoy doing. And I think that both her and I discussed that the issue is for all of us is that we're shedding past experiences that have held us back from becoming who we truly and divinely are. And that sounds like a big project.
Mm-hmm.
But it's happening. It's happening. And as Alaya is concerned about the children, I too have become quite concerned about the children. And I don't know where this has come from. I'm concerned about the water. I'm concerned about the earth. But the children seem to be having a big impact on me. And it's not just the children that are here today, but the children, the future generations of children, of which each of us might be, again, a part of.
I think that I was going to say, just to add to your thought, Charlie, I think that's important because we have to change, we have to teach. I love that song by Whitney Houston about the greatest love. You have to teach the children well.
Mm.
We have to break patterns that we grew up with and that we passed on to children. And this is in all the world cultures. This is not just the States, this is all over. We have to break certain patterns so that our children learn to love.
There are very ancient patterns, and a lot of those ancient patterns have been carried by beautiful souls who have had their lives threatened and their way of life threatened, and they have been the wisdom keepers for thousands of years. And without them, the wisdom and the truth that they keep held sacred would not have survived to this point in time. However, the price that they paid for that is so very dear that as we move with spirit into this period of ascension, they're not very trusting to release that information. And I'm going to include myself in this. We're not very trusting to open ourselves to new ideas or new ways of adapting that old wisdom, because we've had to hold it sacred for so long, and we've had to keep it away from those who would manipulate or misalign it for self-greed and empowerment. So there's a lot of energy that is sort of colliding at this point, and it's a wonderful, effective colliding, because it's dynamic. It's dynamic, and so when I look at it, the dynamism is what is going to shatter all of the old beliefs and systems that can be let go of, and allow the truth and the purity to flow forth as we move into what I call the now earth.
Mm. And I think
that jump in any time, yeah.
Okay. See, when I tell you I'm going to let you talk, I'm going to let you talk.
I know you're not.
No. No, it really is true. I know pretty much on the next segment, Charlie has a wonderful way of bringing through meaning through words. He can take a word, take it apart, and all of a sudden it gets all this meaning out of it. So where he's going to work with the word ascension, and it's so perfect for what we were going to try to discuss today. I said, I'm handing it off to you. And he's going, oh, no. But we are. But the thing is, the world is, I think, I believe in the purity hearts of everybody, every soul that has entered in this world. Sometimes people have made decisions for lessons they've had to learn, whether it's greed, power. It's, well, pretty much power is a big thing. And it always, sometimes it hasn't been good. But maybe I'm naive, but I believe originally there was a purity in them. So our job on the air is not to change your thinking, but to make you think. And you decide yourself. We can bring out a subject and have you think about it. That's all we really want to do. If you take action on it, that's wonderful. If you decide not to, it's not for you. That's wonderful too. But the fact that you're listening, maybe you'll be open to it. And it's the constant thought, though, as we change ourselves, we have to do this work ourselves. The world would change. Believe me, so many times, even though I'm clairvoyant and, the whole 9 yards, I've said, oh, somebody tell me something to do. And it doesn't work that way. The wisdom comes from within your heart. And we're just trying to open your hearts. So this is
it is
what we're going to do.
important. It is important to always come back to the heart, and that's where the wisdom is kept, and that's in our own personal journeys. That's where the true wisdom is in our hearts. The knowledge is in our heads, and I've said this for the past couple of months. It's been coming true. Knowledge is in my head and in my mind, and fortunately, I don't have a whole lot of that, but I have a lot of wisdom, and the wisdom comes from my heart. And if I open my heart and allow that wisdom to flow, it will circulate through my brain and out through my mouth or into my writing. And so this is a return of innocence, if you will.
Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me the Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
Hello, I'm Miriam Knight of New Consciousness Review, inviting you to my new show where I interview the rising stars of the conscious awakening. We'll explore the many faces of consciousness and action and intriguing perspectives on life, the universe, and everything in between. Join us each Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Rising Stars Show.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Charlie and I are not here to ever teach you. What we do is open our hearts and we reach out our hands to you. And we ask you to walk this earth with us and with open hearts and working together. So, like I said, Charlie has a wonderful way with words. And he can take a word, like I said, we're going to work with the word ascension, break it down into other words. And now I'm going to hand it off to you again, Charlie, to talk.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, just to continue, I never know when that little voice is going to start the segment, so I tried to sneak in a few last words. It's like a game. Can I beat him, or can he?
Yeah, believe me, this is constant.
Well, it is, but that's okay. Once you're used to it, it becomes a challenge of a fun challenge to try to get another word in. So. Where I left off, we were talking about the children, and the children are here now. And I know there are future children coming with fully activated DNA, et cetera, and that's perfect. But the children are here now as well. And I want to tie this into your last segment of what we're going to pray for. And so when we talk about ascension, we think about us, and we think about us moving up. And it becomes a lot of times a very selfish, or at least for me, I see a selfishness in what it's all about us. And so what I'm learning is that ascension is not just about us. It's about forever. It's about forever. And it's about all. And so when I looked at the 3 words that we chose for this week, and I saw the last word was ascension, I looked and said that this is amazing. What really is ascension? And I've asked this question 1,000 times, and I get as many answers as I have asked. And I said, okay, I have this gift with spirit angels who I will say, give me an acronym for this. Let's break it down. We'll take the words, the letters of the words, and give me a word for each of the letters that are in this word. And so they begin, and as I said to Elia, it's like bingo balls in a basket, and B47 comes out or whatever. And it's quite amazing. And then you play with that in your head, and you play with it in your heart, and you say, well, that's not really what I'm looking for. Give me another one. Give me another one. And so it's like I enjoy it. It's just a personal practice that I have with my angelic guides who have great sense of humor. Anyway, so we came with ascension. Let's spell out ascension in words, and let's see if we can glean some really soulful meaning from it. So we start with the letter A, and so the word is actively. So actively is mean we're involved in it in the moment, actively. And the second letter is S. Actively what? Actively seeking. So wow, I'm looking at him saying actively seeking. How do I not relate to that? We all appear to be seeking either an answer or a way or something better for all of humanity and all of life.
No, can I? You told me I could break in. Charlie.
Break in anytime.
When I'm listening to your words, it's sort of like Spirit wants to remind you, wherever you are in the world listening, that you as souls chose to come in this particular timeline. This wasn't a fluke. This wasn't karma. This is, I'm going to be beamed down, dropped in, anything you want to say. This was a choice, your soul's choice. Now, if you have actively seeking, can you see what you're doing? Can you see the point where you are in this life? Okay, now I'll let you go.
Oh, no, that's beautiful. It's beautiful because you give a definition to the words, and it aligns. And so this is it. We're actively seeking. So then, that triggers the mind to say, well, what am I actively seeking? But I wasn't thinking that. I said, just give me the words. So the next word was collateral. And I'm saying, okay, I don't know why, but collateral. And I said, but then it became collateral/collective. So I had to look this up. What's the difference between collateral and collective? And I realized that as I was looking at that, it was talking about the whole. was talking about wholeness and the unity, that not only are we a collective of beings, but we're collaterally, everything we do has affects everything else. So there's a synchronicity in this active seeking. So it's not just you and I, it's all of us.
Now, if you mind, I'll pop in
Go
here.
ahead.
It seems that this is the way Charlie's and my brain work. So it's, all right, collateral. All of you have heard of, what we bring from all our multidimensional lives, all our past. And it's not, as Charlie says, just ascension is not about us individually. It's about us collectively as a world, as humanity, and the consciousnesses of water and plants and animals. Look, you have to expand your mind into something bigger. And I've been very strongly guided to keep on putting out the thing, we are one world, we are one heart. So all this ties into what Charlie's telling you. We got those words, now we got collective. And here you go again, Charlie.
It's interesting because I have this on a little post-it note on my screen, and so I've separated them into segments. So it's funny how this evolves. I love it because that's how
nothing's planned.
People say to me, "What do you do?" And I say, "I have no clue what I do. I follow guidance. I'm totally one who listens for the guidance, and I follow it, without question." And realize that there will always be an answer at the end, and it'll be exactly what I need to know or hear. But that's the gift of my returning from death. Really, as I say to people, I died to be here, and this is my statement now. It's you were born to be here. I died to be here right now, and it doesn't make me any better or worse. It's just that a lot of things happen for me and for you, Elia, as well, on levels that we can't explain. And so anyway, we go to the next group of words, but the next word was evolutionary. And I'm saying, okay, so here we go with our evolution. And it's not just human evolution, it's the evolution of the planet, it's the evolution of the solar system. It's a larger picture of evolutionary. Navigation, navigation. I'm looking at navigation. So we're looking for ways. And then the next word was S, and it was systems. So the collective of that was evolutionary navigation systems. So what are we seeking? We're seeking evolution. We're seeking ways in which the evolution of humanity and the earth synchronistically as a collateral and collective entity, for lack of better words, that's what's coming through, happens.
And awaken. And like I said, I'm getting the idea of internet. The internet and platforms like OM and Humanity Healing, this big media push of conscious, mindful thinking has allows us to speak to you and allows you to hear us. So this is the collective raising up. If this did not exist, we wouldn't be doing this right now. All right, go ahead.
And that's a great gift. And I see we got 3 minutes left before the break. So I just want to say this is important because your messages would get out, and my message would get out, and everybody else's, but it would be limited. Okay, so this is the part of the great achievement of being able to stand in our power and to speak our truth and to talk about this system of how I arrive at words. 10 years ago, I couldn't have said this to anybody. They would have thought I was totally out of my mind. And I would have thought I was out of my mind. And yet, here it is today, 10 years later, we've evolved to the point where I can channel words and talk about it openly and without fear. And this is the evolutionary navigation systems, which are basically grid lines of energy.
Everything's being put in place. It's not. You have a bunch of people, which may souls, and we're all plugged into source because that's where we are, and we're creating this wonderful communication of awakening. Where we can support each other and say, "Hey, let's do this together." We'll be given all the tools.
Yes, and as I say, I speak my 10 words, and I always relate to the circle. And, if I say my 10 words and I get 10 new words and I speak them, then the person after me will shift their 10 words. And so eventually the story gets changed. And Findhorn just did a new movie called A New Story. I can't remember the total title, but it's basically about that. It's about co-creating a completely new world, and based on each of us sharing from our hearts the true gifts that each one of us have that are unique to us.
And I think that's why one day I'll tell the story of how I got the title Circle of Hearts. This is not a brand new title for me. This goes back 15 years. But it's Circle of Hearts. You are the heart. We form a circle, and another circle forms, and you keep on interconnecting the circles, and it just keeps growing like cells, if you really look at it. And that's the consciousness evolving.
As within, without, as above, so below. This is the great matrix that we live in.
Hey, you made it.
Getting better.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hi everyone, this is Shay Parker, the host of Best of the Best, which airs live right here on IOM Radio every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm super excited to bring you expert guest hosts, spiritual discussions, free psychic readings, and so much more. I can promise that you will not want to miss this one-of-a-kind, fun, yet touching, down-to-earth show. Join us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on OTR-FM. This is Shay Parker, and I can't wait to see you there.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Really, now, what are the rest of the letters?
Well, there you go. That's a good question, right? So we have actively seeking, collateral, collective, evolutionary navigation systems. And so the last three are intuiting optimal nowness. Now, that's an amazing statement.
Yeah.
Intuiting optimal nowness. And it's funny. At first I said, I don't understand. But that's what we're all doing. We're all tapping into our natural intuitive sense, our psychic abilities, our energy. We're actually our energy stream, our source energy stream from creation. And we're looking for what is the best and most optimal solution for things to happen now, in the moment, without a past and without a future. And that's why I call the new earth, that's my, everybody talks about the new earth. I talk about the now earth. And it's occurring, and I feel that I'm living in the now earth because it seems that things are happening. You think of something and bingo, it happens. And the synchronicities are rampant. The energies are just making things pop when you get in groups. One person has an idea and then it ripples like wildfire. It's amazing how fast, and it triggers somebody else. And so this is occurring. This is occurring. So ascension, the word ascension to me was always something that was sort of taking place or going to take place, but I never really thought about it's occurring now, and it has been for a while. I just wasn't aware of it. I was aware of it on a certain level, but now I can see it happening even more. And so,
I was going to say, there's actually those 3 last letters where you mentioned it. What struck me was, this is what awakening is all about. We're awakening in the now. No more, what do you think? Like you said, we're actually becoming active creators in the now. Our thoughts are creating a world. And that's why everything is so important, that we become aware of things.
It is. And interestingly, those last 3 letters are ion.
Oh.
And I'm just looking at this now because I put them in caps, but ion. And so, this is where we're happening. This is an energy. It's an energetic shifting. And we are energetic beings. We always have been. It's just amazing that it's all just happening so rapidly. But this is what is, as we started, triggering people's fears, producing the ability to have to make choices now where we could always take the back seat. I don't think I want to make that choice. And it's almost like now, no, you make the choice, now. And so everything is quickening, and it's becoming very liquid, if there was a word. And I want to use that because I'm going to tie it in with the water work that is so prevalently becoming very much more intense around the world. People are recognizing the water within themselves, the water in the earth, and they're seeing the oneness of it all as our mother that we're born from. So this is all part and parcel. It's traveling through the memory of the water, and as we release stuff from ourselves, we release it for others as well. And that's the one thing that I'm finding. I may not even know who I'm releasing for, but if something triggers me and I look at it and say, I can't bring this forward into the nowness because it's part of the past, or I can't bring it into the now because it's something in the future, I'm not just doing it for myself.
And this is interesting. Like I said, Charlie and I work off each other. I don't know how, but it happens. And what he's doing is actually leading into the next segment when he says, we need to watch our words to focus. And it's like something I can't bring, our words, our thoughts. We can't bring in things from the past. We're creating something new. So how do we do it? Everybody, I can't learn rituals. I don't know anything. This prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to be doing in the next segment. So now I'm going to shut up and I'll let you continue.
Well, I wanted to just reflect back on the Findhorn Foundation movie is called A New Story for Humanity, and it's on Vimeo. So I posted it on my page, and I recommend people go and view that. It's just an amazing movie. It's an amazing project that Findhorn developed based on collective collaboration, and it worked. And so it's just this is what we're going through right now. We're and again, not all of us. There are always going to be somebody who is on the perimeter who is going to go dragging their feet and kicking and screaming, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing. There's no judgment on that. That's their choice, and they're choosing to do that. And we can offer them prayers. We can offer them comfort, but we have to recognize that that's their choice. However, they can't bring that into the now. And so that's their choice. And when they make, and as we all do, and I'm not saying that not us and them, as I make my choices and I say I can't give this up or I can't change that, what I'm truly saying is I'm not going to be fully engaged in the now because I'm still going to have this little piece of me that I cherish and love and value. And so until I can let go of whatever value it has for me, I won't be able to fully access the now. So these are our choices, and these are our fears that come up. And as a result, we live in a world where the old paradigm is dissolving, and there are people who are holding on tooth and nail to practices that are heinous. And I'm going to lead into the last prayer. But there are rituals and there are protocols and things that have been held dear because it meant survival in their world, and that can no longer be brought forward. And so each of us, through our intentions to access and embrace the now, have also got to forgive and also look back and try to re-educate those who are continuing these practices that are just not conducive to the evolution of any living species.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know if we can ever re-educate, but I think maybe we can prayer as an energy, disregarding all religious labels. Let's look at prayer as an energy. Mm-hmm. If we send it out from our heart, maybe we can reach their hearts.
Prayers are energies of intention. This is intention. When we pray, regardless of, form or manner, what we're doing is setting an intention with our heart. Mm. The true prayer comes through our heart, not through our head. And it's our connection to source because it's all about love.
That's true. Like I said, that's what I think we all hear the words, about love is all and, heart energy and we are one, and people are confused. But I know that if we can help people understand that we all have a heart. Humanity all has a heart. And this heart is energy, and it beats out waves, and it beats out thoughts, beautiful thoughts, that everybody, no matter if they feel that, they have nothing to offer, they always have prayer. And maybe this is something that we just can share at times. And if you really understand the power of it, people will stand in their power and say, okay, at least I can do something for the world.
Most of the time, and I say, even in my own two shoes and walk, I surrender into prayer. And it's a beautiful feeling to surrender into prayer with what we acknowledge as the divine creator the mother of us all, and say, I turn it over to you. I've done all that I can do as a human in the shape that I'm in right now, and I surrender.
Yeah, for the highest good of whatever it is, because we can never change outcomes, but we can send love into something for a better outcome.
So yes, and in that prayer, and in that action, is we are actively seeking collateral, collective, evolutionary navigation systems, intuiting optimal nowness. It's really so beautiful to loop it and just say, wow, isn't that what we're doing when we surrender and we pray? We step out of our way. We step out of the way of the perfect energy, the pure divine heart, the all it is.
Isn't it amazing how this whole show develops? We did not plan this. It just
No,
all
we
right.
didn't
This
plan
just
this
came
in a
out.
million years, and that's what's fun about doing the shows is the fact that your energy and my energy engage and create, and that's co-creative. That's the co-creative process that really is truly taking place in the now, and it's happening now as we speak, as the words come out of our mouth.
Yeah, and people, you don't realize that Charlie and I'll talk later and go, did we actually do this? Did we actually say this? How did that
I find it
happen?
interesting to listen to the show afterwards because I look and I just say, wow, yeah, there you go, Charlie. That's a good message. Or that's what I look at and say, where did that come from? Where does it come from?
Yeah, so that, believe me, we're as amazed.
It's beautiful.
as everybody else.
It's a beautiful thing to share with anybody, and especially you, but others at this level of conscious awareness.
And to have whoever's listening at whatever time that you actually, join in listening. Okay, we're going to go for a group prayer in the next segment. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
The name is Bond. James Bond.
No, the name is Joe. The Joe Show. And we are returning back for our 9th season here on OMTimes Radio. So tune in every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, on OMTimes.com/mobile. You can take us wherever you go. Yeah!
Do you have time to read that inspiring book or that blog post you've been meaning to get to? In your busy world, how do you improve yourself and keep your life going? I'm Lisa Kay, and my Between Heaven and Earth radio show can transform your life just by listening. Be uplifted with inspiring topics, positive stories, and ideas that really work. Between Heaven and Earth Radio is conscious living for your soul, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
15 years ago, after all my experiences and coming back, I heard the word circle of hearts. Actually, from guidance, because I have no idea. And what I had created years ago was healing group. It was a circle of friends from all over the world, from Australia, from the States, from Canada. And what we would do is, if we became aware of somebody in need or a situation, we would put it in the circle. And as hearts together, we would focus our love into the situation for the highest outcome. Because once I had mentioned to somebody about how I see prayers is, if you look at the whole world and you think of people, the population in this whole world, everybody's a heart. And all this little pink, when someone prays, all this pink heart energy goes up into, the collective energy. And it's sent down or layers above the situation. So if you can visualize all these pink hearts like shooting stars going out into the world, these are your prayers. And sometimes we need to focus all that energy on a situation or a person. And you need to really realize everything you do, your thoughts, this energy you send from your heart, this is real. This is not something that we're doing out of, things we learned as kids to say prayers and whatever. This is heart energy being released. It actually has physical form and physical effect. Now, over this past weeks with all these energies, I have found myself changing also in many ways, and I've decided to become a little bit more vocal about my passions. When I came back after my NDE, I found out a deep connection to the Divine Mother of the World energies. And this is all the goddess energies of all religions. It's sort of like an umbrella term. And we really think we are created from the mother. Our forms, if you exist today, you had to be birthed from a mother. So the mother's heart energy is within you. Even all the guys, they're finding that they're becoming so much more aware of compassion. Many men who never thought, I don't know whether it's left brain or whatever, but, to see logic, now they're feeling from their heart. So what I'm going to ask you to join in with me is a moment of quiet during this last segment, of just sitting, concentrating, and being a little bit quiet space right now, and just breathe and see through your heart. Feel the beautiful energy of the heart coming out of you, surrounding you, going underneath your feet, back and forth into this figure 8 type of form. And if you can picture your heart, the pulsating heart, beautiful pink, shades of red, whatever comes to you. I think we use the word pink because, the heart physically is red, but you add light to it. The white light, a source, and that's where you get that pinkish glow. And I'd like you to focus on the children. And I say the children in one particular area right now. There's so many people in need, but sometimes we just need to focus someplace. And today I've gone very involved with the albino children in Africa, because these beautiful souls have incarnated into this world, into forms of sacrifice, to bring out stories of things that needed to be changed in this world. Now I've written this something down that I'm going to read, because I haven't perfected this yet, doing this on air, so bear with me. because I believe strongly in the power of prayer to help situations for the highest outcome, even if people know they are in your prayers, as we are one heart. It gives them hope. I have posted about the children in Africa. And maybe you are in a position not to help, but everybody is in a position that they can pray. So please add your prayers to the following and share on healing groups, if possible, these thoughts. I ask of you this day to take a moment and join us on air. And let us pray for others, as one day we may need someone's prayers ourselves. I had gotten this note from Humanity Healing International, and goes, "Hello everyone, I have one announcement and one prayer request. One of our children, Immaculate, our little girl, was attacked and raped. The children claimed they had no resource. The police claimed they had no resources to go after the criminal. We sent them some resource to help with gasoline. Gilbert, who's very involved in helping the rescues out there, was also attacked all this past week. Aside from this, our two girls going into cancer treatment were dismissed only because the only machine for radiotherapy in Uganda broke for good. And it seems the president decided his country can wait 1 or 2 years to get a new one. Right now, more than 17,000 people that could use this machine right now, it's not there for them. The country in Uganda is without any cancer treatment. My request is that you stand with me in prayers as we contact 2 different organizations and people to solve this part and ask for a direct donation. This is Humanity Healing International. Now, if you listen to these radio programs on OM, this is Humanity Healing is part of this huge platform of working with people in the world. And I found out today, as I put things on Facebook, that people don't realize this. So I've made the choice to do this. This is my personal choice, because this is work that needs awareness for. So if you just take a moment with me and pray to send your love to the children, to send your love to the political leaders in Africa, to all who ever can possibly help this situation. Please, Source, may our hearts open and put them in this circle of love. And if it is to be divinely considered, please let this happen in some way for things to get moving and to rolling. We ask this from our hearts, and we give up our hearts to them freely and unconditionally. And I ask this, and I am grateful for all your prayers who take this, for all of you who just take this moment with me to pray that some resolution comes. And from my heart to yours, I thank you again for taking this moment of prayer with me. Now, actually, in a month or so, I'm going to be bringing on Chris and Leonie Buck, the creators of the media platform and the e-zine that everybody must be familiar with, because if you're listening to these programs, and let them share what they know about this work and their passion. Because for me to find out that people don't recognize Humanity Healing, International, or not to know about it, is like, well, we need to change this. And for awareness to be brought out, because there's so many projects that they're involved with. I mean, the albino children, this touches my heart to see these children. Can you imagine living in fear of somebody going to take you and cut off your body part, or to one poor little boy have his knife, his throat cut so that the blood can be drained and possibly later on be decapitated, except that somebody was able to intervene and stop these traffickers? A child should not, no one, child, animal, human, no one should experience this. But we can't solve the problems of the world. Not all at once, but each time we can take a little focus and work on it. And this is what I'm trying to do. And so I've taken this time to be selfish and put it out there. If you aren't familiar with Humanity Healing International, please look the website up, look at the information, look at their projects. If you can help, that's absolutely wonderful. If you can't help, then please share it. Share it to people you know, to your social networks. That is a gift you can give these children, to share this information, to come in the hands of somebody who may help. So, now that I rambled for 15 minutes, Charlie, thank you. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do for next month.
You're most welcome, Liar, and thank you for the shout out for the work that the Humanity Healing Network is doing. And many of us have followed them for years and we're not aware of all that they do. So thank you for that.
No, and thank you for being you and the fun that we have on this show. And we'll be talking again back